If there's something strange and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Hi, my name is young Rylee. Welcome to Why I Like It, a show where I talk about movies and things I like. Today I'm going to talk about the 1984 classic movie, Ghostbusters. I'm sure many of you have seen this movie. It stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. Those are the main characters in the movie, and they play the biggest parts. Now, you've probably seen the movie. It's about a team of scientists who end up getting kicked out of their university and join forces together to track paranormal activity and ultimately fight it. They're Ghostbusters. They go around busting ghosts. Harold Ramis' character Egon ends up developing these proton packs that are phasers, and it shoots a beam out and catches the ghosts, and they can put it in the ghost trap. It's one of my favorite movies for a couple of reasons. I'm a big fan of Bill Murray and his comedy, and this movie is a great representation of that. Bill Murray is still being funny while having a different kind of role where he does a little bit of action. The whole group of people in this movie are funny as well. Even Sigourney Weaver has her moments where she gets to be a little bit funny. Another reason I really like this movie is because of Rick Moranis. I think he's just absolutely hilarious in this movie, especially when he gets possessed by the dog and he becomes the Keymaster. And I guess it's not really a dog, it's the gargoyle statue thing, but you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. My favorite scene in this movie has to be when they go to their first ghost-busting experience at the hotel. I think it's just funny with them trying to figure out how things work. They hadn't tested the proton packs before, so they get a little nervous when they first turn one on, as it's kind of a nuclear reactor, and they don't know if it'll blow up and kill everybody. It's just funny, them walking around the hallways, and then they meet Slimer. And if you've seen the cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters, that was made after the movie, you know that Slimer's a character there too. So I've seen both, and I have always really liked Slimer. It's also a great part of this movie because it's the first time they actually get to interact with a ghost other than in the library at the beginning. There's just so many great moments in this movie, it's really hard to pick and single them out because the movie as a whole is great. I also like the part when Dana, Sigourney Weaver's character, brings home her groceries at the beginning, and she's unpacking the bag, and you can see the egg carton flip open, and the eggs start popping out and cooking right on the counter. Now, they didn't use the CGI a whole lot back then, and the egg trick was done using actual effects. And so I thought it was really neat because I still to this day haven't figured out how they can make those eggs pop out of their shells onto the counter and cook. I just thought it was a really cool effect. Speaking of effects, the ghosts were done really well in this movie, considering it was made in the mid-'80s and technology hadn't gotten to what it is today. They had still a lot of different kinds of ghosts and animated and things, and I'm not sure if they used computer graphics or not, but if they did, it's really well done for what it was. A lot of them were probably drawn or used in some other kind of raw filming techniques, but I think it was really well done for its time. Still today, it would be the way I would do it because it has that comedy feel to it. The ghosts aren't perfect, and they kind of look silly as well, so it plays really well to the style and flow of the movie because you don't expect them to be real scary ghosts, even though people are getting scared by them on the streets. Something else that's interesting about this movie that I really like is that the main characters are these scientists, and they get to play the role of hero, which you don't normally see in movies, where the scientist gets to be the main guy saving the day. A lot of times scientists in movies are used to build something for a bad guy, or they're the ones that build something for a good guy, but they're never the people that actually get to go and do the things. And Ghostbusters made the scientists kind of cool. They have a lot of knowledge, they know about the different kinds of guides they need to use to look up these ghosts and the spirits. They talk about Tolkien's Spirit Guide, and lots of other cool things. The music in this movie is great too. You get a good 80s soundtrack. You have the Ghostbusters theme song by Ray Parker Jr. and many other songs that make the soundtrack worth buying as well. Every time I watch the Ghostbusters, it takes me back to when I was younger because that was when I first saw it. And I think that really works for everybody too. This is a movie that will stand the test of time and I think be around for many years to come. I know there are talks for a third one, and I've read a few things about them, but I don't think that it's going in the direction that I think the movie should be. There are 2 Ghostbusters movies, and I think the way they ended the second one was perfect. I don't think that there needs to really be any more explanation into their story. But I do know that I probably will see a third one if it comes out. When it all comes down to it, Ghostbusters is a fun movie to watch. Every time. It never gets old. I mean, you wouldn't want to watch it over and over and over again right in a row, but it never gets old. It's a movie that can still make me laugh to this day, and I've heard the jokes about 100 times. I like a lot of the movies from the mid to late 80s, and Ghostbusters is definitely in the top 10 movies of all time for me. I can say that I look forward to watching it almost every time I put it in, and I will for many, many years to come. Well, that's why I like it for today. Be sure to come back on Thursday for another video. As always, you can comment, rate, and subscribe. Also, I'd like you to check out the description below for links to other clips. Also, I put the IMDb link for the respective movie under there as well if you'd like to check that out. Also, check me out on Twitter and Google+. Facebook will be coming soon as I get a few more subscribers. That's all for today. I'll see you on Thursday.
Got your stick? Hold! Beat him up! Smoke it! Make him hard! Ready! Ghostbusters.